Hello, friends. Hello, loyal audience. Hello, fans. So it's like a little bit sad that they blocked my last two videos. Uh, However, I appealed those or disputed those with YouTube. Hopefully, they will reinstate them. They cited copyright material. There's no copyright material. Maybe they disagree with my political, maybe it's AI. I don't know. But maybe they will release them. I disputed those, and hopefully they will release them. They've got some really good, commentary in them. Very, keen observation. So there's that number 8, which is the retrospect hindsight commentary, and there's video number 7. So I moved into video number 7, and which really stopped here, right? At minute 118 or 120. So now, but today, today's video, aside from griping about about YouTube, that's like because they may disagree with my political view or religious view within the movie itself, but that's infringement on my rights, right? As a U.S. citizen, they can't just do that. That will be pretty much violation of the Constitution. Anyways, so today's video is very simple. I'm gonna make few commentary on this. Notes, just notes on emphasis. Emphasis on emphasis on the video numbers on video number 7. I will upload it. Hopefully, they will release the other two videos, and then you will see what I'm talking about. I mean, we're talking at least a couple of hours of video and commentary. The last two videos are that long, right? So I spent a lot of time on them and a lot of thinking and so on. Hopefully, they will release them. So as I explained to you, so let's move from here, right? Okay, I'm gonna make a commentary here on Dallas.
No blood.
We found this laying there.
No blood. No damage.
What that means is now there's a hint of Dallas having not fought, right? However, he here was probably abducted, or this is also an allusion to him having been converted, if you will, having been converted. As I explained in earlier videos, that jaw that protrudes out of the mouth, right, and then hits people in the head, that's a tongue. And I explained in earlier videos that the tongue here, or in this movie at least, it hints at it's usually a metaphor for a dogma, teaching and dogma and so on, the words spoken and so on. So that's what happened. Now he's suspicious. Well, maybe not suspicious, but at least he's hinting at us here at the audience, right? So now I have concluded, and later on in the previous video, I showed also that Cain is Lambert's son and is, say, Abraham's son, right? Or Adam, right? Or somebody, right? And here's Balaji. So Balaji is Jonesy the cat, and he is Cain's son or her son. I don't think so. I think he is. There is an indication later when they do freezer Rhinos on Cain, right? And he's launched into space. This here is always shown as upright, right? The Balaji pack of cigarette, and pack of cigarettes mean burn, like burn something, smoke somebody, right? Remember in that movie, Space the Star Wars, Stern or Ishtar, right? He, smoked Jabba, right? So he's his son, right? He's going to be smoked. I showed that in earlier video, but I'll show that here. So you get the message about Stern and star, Stern, which comes from Ishtar, right? Ishtar. It's an old worship, Babylonian worship of certain star. They called Ishtar, right? And it's like a female goddess or something of the sort. Eventually, that became Stern in German, and then star in English. Yeah, I'm making this up. I'm not making this up, you dumb. I mean, you smarties. Okay, here I want you to see what Ash is talking about with his describing or explaining his tracker, right? You know the tracker? And uh, he really is talking about Jonesy, a cat. He's talking about a cat. Notice. Just keep noticing, keep hearing that out.
I'm not taking care of that. I designed this tracking device. You just set it to search for a moving object.
Set search for moving objects.
Hasn't got much of a range, but when
Hasn't got much of a range, but when you get within a certain distance,
in a certain distance it starts to give off a signal.
starts to give off a signal.
What's the key on?
What's it key on? Notice he took notice of what she asked, right? Of her inquiry.
Micro changes in air density.
Micro changing in air density. And that is the whiskers of a cat. I know about cat what others don't, right? Cats' sensitivity and senses and so on is like 1,000 times beyond us humans, right? And it's about 500 times beyond those of dogs, right? And so on and so on. Cats are very sensitive. Now, I heard a description of the whiskers that the whiskers detect the most minute changes in air density around them, right? So he's talking about cat here. And I showed in the previous video, hopefully they will release it, that, let me show you that actually. Okay, in the previous black video, hopefully they will release it, I explained that when they entered here, that private room, how did Jonesy enter here? He had to press a button, right? How did he come in here into this room? So guess what? So we're now the cat is actually the cat or Jonesy is actually the xenomorph. Now here I explained this to be a mausoleum, right? You know, mausoleum. I think that's what it means. Give me a second. So I explained that earlier as a mausoleum. It's also a crypt, right? You know, when you go to a cemetery and there's that marble building or granite building where they slate in those coffins with people in them. I don't know why they do that. Anyways, because one day I walked into one that has like glass doors and so on, and it was hot. And then within the mausoleum or the crypt, oh man, the smell, I mean, they could never, I mean, the smell of death was so overwhelming, overbearing, overwhelming. I had just had to exit out, like we humans. And these are already previous mission or something of the sort. These are the dead people here. That's their flight suit or space suits and so on, right? And here, of course, is the brick in the walls, right? Bricks in the wall. But now I looked at 1516. There's the 5 and 6 we know has something. The 1516, right, gives us 31. And the 5, 6, there's 56 and there's 11. I don't know what to do with it. This is like 1, 5, as I explained. That's the term, or that's the turf, taraf or turf of the xenomorph. That is the turf of the 1, 6, right? There's the 1, 5 and there's the 1, 6. It's very obvious. And they're all buried here. As you can see, they got in here and that's it, right? They never exited, is what I'm trying to say. I can't see what that is, right? It does appear as if it is a, as if it is a helmet, but I just can't see, right? And there you got your, that like infirmary. You remember the infirmary where they put Cain and, when the face hugger was, or Medusa head was stuck to his face, right? as I explained that in the previous or video number 7 and the commentary of number 9 commentary thereof, right? So yeah, I mean, Ash is really talking about the whiskers, right? And now I explained in the previous video or number 7, right, that that here they're talking about Jonesy really as the xenomorph. Okay, I did also explain, if you look at the poster, the early poster uh, of the movie itself, the 1979 release, and you would see an egg, right? An egg, and it's upside down, right? And surrounded by blackness of space, right? And here, and under that egg, it started to crack out, right? And then leak a green slime, right? Slime, oh boy. And then there is the net. Remember, there was a net under. Let me draw it for you. I showed that actually, part of it in my video number 7, but let me show you that. So the poster I'm talking about is really, that's like an egg here, right? If you remember, and there's blackness of space. In space, no one can hear a scream. And there's a net under it, right? What that means is they're cracking up, there's an entity or primordial ancient entity. And I believe that they're talking about God, right? Right? And this guy is the fallen angel, you know. Poor Parker. Do you know when I showed you that when he was descending down the steps, right, or the ladder, and then there was like a stain on his pants, just on his seat, and I said, you know, like he blew a volcano-sized fart and so on. No, I think now that's intentional. They're portraying him here as a coward, right? You know, as a spineless coward who's afraid of everything. He's always eating and so on. I mean, they're really showing him to be, and he's subject for them, Dallas and Ripley, right? And that's why they keep shouting him down and so on and so forth. I think that was because they're trying to say that he shit in his pants, you know, out of fear or something of the sort, right? But that's the egg, right? You know, it's like this, if you remember. And that's it, really. So that's the net. That's the same one. They're trying to track him. What they're saying is he's here, right? Possess, Possessing, possessing someone, not possession like acquirement or ownership of something or grabbing something, right? So this, yeah, this here is that's it. That's it. That's very same net actually. And there's your 1516, and it's red, right? The red here is blood, right? Which is saying there, these here, they have been into battles, right? Anything happened in 1516? I looked, I couldn't find much here. And here, I couldn't read this light, you know, in light or something of the sort. Light, there's like the word light. I don't know what that means really. Light, right? But that's red, and then the red is not exactly uniform stain, right? You know, you see that there's like leaking blood is draping against it, you know, or leaking, you know, like, you know how when you pour paint over something, it's not like it doesn't uh, 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 it's not uniform. It doesn't flow over uniformly. It's like it's got like tracks and grooves and so on, and that's what this here saying. There is a massacre over the 15 and 16, right? And they're all dead here. And these were the space suits as well. You know, they're already here. They're already being massacred. And again, 1516, I explained it. There's a 15, there's a 16, or it's a year 1516. And if I do minus 937, will I get somewhere with that, right? So 937, and then there's like 63. That on 1000, that gives me 63, right? 63, and then there's like 5, 63, 573, 579, you know, And that puts me very close to a certain well-known date, not exact, but well-known date, 579, the year 579, right? And that has to do with Ash, as a matter of fact, or who they are trying to represent as Ash. Okay, so let's continue. So you see here, what you see here, there is an alarm going on. These are the blues. Whatever blues are here, they're sending an alarm, like by flashing, right? Flashing alarm. I don't know its technical name, but they're saying, don't come in here. Look, see? Don't, red and blue, don't come in here, because they saw what's here. Don't fail me, right? What? See? Okay, this one here shows my theory, and I believe I am on right on the money here. See the net here, and there's that the 4-1 that looks like the egg, right? That leathery object down in the bottomless pit when Cain got the face hugger. The face hugger basically latched to his face, right? So that's what it is. But who is here? Well, Jonesy is here, and I hope they release my previous video. I showed you exactly what's going on. They are setting up to trap God. Oh man. Or what they think is a man or a boy or whoever it is, that's Jonesy now, after inheriting his father, Cain, right? Cain is dumbass, right? Excuse my language. That's what they're portraying him as such. And notice, here, if you see the hand, right? There is the hand, but I don't think this reflection here is the reflection of the hand. In fact, when Ash was looking in the and in the microscope, and there was a screen next to that temple door I showed you, right? And on the screen, I told you I couldn't make out the outlines of what was on the screen, but later at the end, I showed you there was an eye, and then that's when Ash and Ripley faced off about why he opened the door and so on. But then I remember that's what I think I saw on that screen above the microscope. That's when Ash was making an inspection, right? On the microscope, he was looking down and so on. And then Ripley came to look down as well, and he says, don't do that, right? I think that's what I saw. See? The reflection, I don't see that reflection, The reflection is not the reflection of the hand. If you look at the direction of the light, and her hand and the reflection.
Right now.
They're ready to trap him. Okay, so I explained this, but I'll show it to you again just in case they don't release that. So as you can see, Jonesy is now the one possessed, right? You can see probably other details, the paws, his paw, right? See? So that's him, right? That's the xenomorph now. But after seeing it's a cat, their reaction is way out of bounds, right? Out of whack. Their severe reaction just doesn't say, that. I mean, who's afraid of cat that much, right? Especially someone like Kane and like Brett, right? Not afraid of cats. Cats, those small house cats, felines, they run away. See, he escaped the net. And that they were gambling on that. That's it, they caught him. Don't let him go, right? He said, don't let him go. It's the cat. It's the cat. It's not, he said, it's not a cat, it's the cat. We had to bag it, right? I thought they're talking about the xenomorph, and now it's the cat. Here, I'm telling you, these guys the chat that these guys, or the exchange here, they're talking about Jonesy. He is the xenomorph. That's what they're saying.
Now we might begin with the tracker again.
Tracker again. I thought the tracker was meant to track the xenomorph. So yes, Jonesy is the xenomorph now.
Good going.
But the secret here is very simple. While he's possessed by the xenomorph, or God, let's put it this way, you know, like coming into him, right? And that's a well-known heresy or philosophy among the Sufis and early Jews and so on and so forth, right? They still believe in it now, and they dwell on it day and night, you know, and harp on it, and it causes them all kind of anguish and divergence and deviation, and it's sickly dogma, man. I mean, I don't know why they follow that, especially those Sufis, right? SUFI.
Are you good? I'm gonna go on.
See, get him will go on. See? So that's the net on the poster in outer space, just below the egg, which is turned upside down. I also explained to you, I mentioned that early on in the early videos, the first videos, that those, you know, I said I will explain why the fluid or water or sweat is rising up from the leathery object, not descending down per gravity. Why? Because they're in space. That's what they're saying, and they showed you on the on the poster that the egg is really upside down. So you see what I'm saying? So these two are linked, right? You know, I wish to show you the poster, but you know what? Let me try. Let me try. So you see it now here. You see that what I'm talking about? That's the net, and that's the egg, right? And that's the slime, right? And they're in outer space. But there's that outer space. Maybe that's who is in the egg. I think it's called Ridley Scott. I know. That's him. See here. Here he's in the, you know, that's who is, that's the xenomorph right there. Okay, so Lambert, on Lambert station or console, that's when she was young, right? And that's Balaji, Imperial, with the Ghalyoun or pipe, smoking pipe, right? And of course, he's an angel. Well, she's an angel, maybe, I don't know. And then you got to go red and blue. I explained that, but here it's upright, and it shows elsewhere as well. Let me show you. So here's when I showed you that the shadow on the crypt, right, or on the mausoleum, or that slot in the crypt, I don't know what you call it. It looked like that, as a matter of fact, right? It looked like that. Okay, earlier on I explained the facehugger as a brain with a spine, right? However, I changed my mind. I'm still thinking that it is, but it's an amalgamation between a brain and a spine and something else altogether. These are the baby eggs. However, I told you there were faces here. The faces are really snakes, right? And then here the tail is that like of a dragon. You know how they portray dragons, right? In you know, in engravings and occultic art and so on, right? Paintings and so on. You know, it's ribbed like a dragon. And now I am thinking this here has been fashioned or inspired by the mythology of Medusa, the Medusa. You know, the Medusa with the body of a dragon or a snake, and then the head is of a woman, and then it's got snakes for hair on her head, right, attached to the head, and they move about. And then when she looks, you know, her eyes, you know, lights up, and then she changes humans into human beings into a pillar of stone. Okay, here I also showed you that Balaji pack of cigarettes, the Royal Balaji, right, Imperial, is also upright, standing upright. Now the dipping birds, I will show you an instance of those. I got a different idea about them. You know, dipping birds, you know, bowing down, bowing down. I think these are rabbis bowing down to the wailing wall, not bowing down, you know, like dipping, you know, like their heads up and down as they read from their Bible, and they're facing the wailing wall in Jerusalem. You know, they keep doing this. That's a possibility. I did other explanations as well. I really, really hope I put a lot of thinking and notations in video number 7 and the commentary there, of which both of them are blocked. I really hope they release them. So that's up here, and I'm going to show you how I concluded that Jonesy is Cain's son. Now the whispering, you know, and those brief statements that you hear, they mean something, but you know, I don't want to go that deep, right? You know, you need a lot of research and so on. So here you'd see Jonesy eating now, right? And in the other video, I wanted to show you something. So here, as the xenomorph, which I showed you was the sperm whale, reaches out on the buckle, right? You would see that there's the 6 here, and then there's the 3. So there's the 63 or 666 is what they're trying to say is was here, right? And there you are. But now I want to show you something here. Like I said, they're trying to force him in earlier videos, that they're trying to force him to make sure that he doesn't regurgitate or barf or throw up the poison in his stomach, right? And they're forcing him down, right? So this here is being handled. Maybe they're forcing genetic material out of him or something of the sort, right? That's, you know, here, that's what I think it means. They're holding him down, and the spoon means take it out, right? You know, all that I explained earlier, you know, his money, his inheritance, his position, his status. So if it's like a king, they jail the king, and then they put his own heir, like it or not, right, from whenever they're children, right? Something of the sort is what they're trying to say here. Okay, so here you will see that the pack of cigarettes, Balaji, right, is in fact Cain, right? And Jonesy is his son. Jonesy having started eating as Xenomorph started preaching, right? So there's Balaji, but now the pack of cigarettes is down, so it's burned. That's him. It's burned, right? It's gone, right? Is what they're saying. So they burned the royal blood, purged the royal blood, and they now extracted the spirit from him, the xenomorph, and they they forced it to go into Jonesy. And I showed you in earlier video in the movie Fallen how, you know, they believe that the spirit moves from one body to another, 500 qubit and whatnot, you know, whatever, okay? So I showed you that in earlier video. So that's it. Now you won't see Balaji anymore, but now Balaji is also the Bolaji, you know, the actor who donned the aliens costume. And then that also, it's like hitting two birds with one stone. Bolaji is the alien, Balaji, and it's also a Persian name, as I explained to you, Persian name. So here in this movie, they're trying to show like the 1979 revolution in Iran, right? Or coup in Iran, taking over of Zion in Iran and so on, right? And now they want to replace the United States or make it the world power, right? And here is an emblem or a logo of a certain financial institution in the United States that basically is very major, you know, financial institution in the U.S. And here is your Zoroaster or Korosh, who the part was part of the Achaemenid, and which was toppled, I think, by the Sassanid or Sassoon or Sasan, as we say in Arabic, right? You know, the Sassoon in China as well, right? So here, so that's what it is. That's where I got that from. Lambert can be an adoptive mother, maybe not biological mother of Cain. Maybe not. Maybe adoptive, right? Is what I am thinking now. Adoptive. Or Jonesy is also her son, right? I don't know. I mean, I'm just making these theories up here. So, but what happened is Cain bequeathed or forced to, uh, you know, to throw out or forced to surrender all that he inherited, you know, whether it's royal title, whether it is money, whether it's status of power, and so on and so on, to Jonesy, right? And now you saw that Jonesy was being dealt with by Ripley, by that alliance of Ripley and so there are alliances within the alliances. The alliance of Ripley, Parker, and Brett against the rest, right? But then within that alliance, Ripley and had Brett actually spy on and deal or derange or keep track of Parker, right? You know, you can see there's like there's like a, could be a soap opera as well here. All right, so that's what I think. So now here, from what we saw earlier in the awakening, around the table, you know, they started talking about Cain as he's, you know, like dead or uninitiated and unaware of things around him and so on, right? That, as a matter of fact, may mean that the rest, such as Ripley and Brett and Parker, along with Ash, right? They're very deep in you know, like they have like a very deep mind, you know, awakening and so on and so forth. And that, what that says, we human beings learn by experience, right? And can be molded, right? In uh, infinitely malleable or molded per O'Brien or Burton in 1984, right? Which is true, right? But that also says that Ripley, Ash, and Parker are not humans. They are what you call angels or fallen angels or demons or jinns, as we say in Islam, as we understand in Islam, or they have lived for a long time, and now their mind and experience has awakened them, right? And they're tired of life, but they begin to form some kind of you know, states within states and, you know, things of the sort, right? You know, and then become intrigue and form alliances and so on. That's just a transient note. All right, these are just transitory notes, and like I said, uh, I'm pretty close to uncovering, you know, like I don't think I'm gonna be able to rewrite the script or the hidden script for that matter, but I come very close to it, and everybody can see it, and obviously those who are experienced, or you can get the insiders info if you want, if they give it to you, right? Uh, or or you know, you can have like historians, social scientists, you know, psychological you know, psychiatrists, you know, and shrinks, and they can analyze the features and microfacial expressions and, you know, the wordings and so on, and they can come up with big solution here, right? And they may be able to pinpoint precisely uh, what uh, what I am trying to talk about here, or what I already found out, if you will. So 241 UH, and then here there's 934 FC, you know, and you need like a code breakers here. So, but you know what? This used to be thought of as something in space. It's not really, aside from the egg, or the first egg, or God in space, if you will, right? You know, they're trying to trap him down because he's here on Earth, they think. Other than that, let's see if I can find anything else to note here. Now, I always ask myself, the Nostromo is very large, right? I mean, from what you look on the screen, from the look on the screen, it's very complex and large and sophisticated and has a lot of energy and fridges. And you saw that crypt and mausoleum that I showed you earlier, right? Dead people, and then they have freezers, and they can. So it kind of eluded me first. Why are they throwing him in space? Why not freeze him, right? Put him in freezer, right? Real freezer, not freezerinos, like freezer in outer space, right? Why throw him out in space? I mean, you can put him somewhere in the ship, right? In a freezer or a morgue or, something of the sort, right? And then take him home, bury him where, like on Earth, right? See, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, you can see the ship is extremely, it's like gigantic, right? I mean, 4 continents and so on. But here, what I think it means is really throwing him out of Zion, of whatever conduits, whatever ducts, whatever it is, just in outer space. This here, similar in 1984, similar to being among the proletariat, right? When Winston or his John Hurt himself, this guy here, goes out and then he thinks the proletariat can overturn the system, right? The Big Brother and so on. Funny enough, these two movies are like very close in concept. Not exactly, but I mean, John Hurt was like, I don't know, chosen by Providence to star here and star in the 1984 movie. But that's what I think it is. They could have, like, I mean, put him somewhere, right? Freeze him, or or in a coffin or something of the sort, and that's it. Take him home. But that's what I mean. I think it is. They just threw him out of whatever organizations or occults or religion or whatever it is. Now he's out on his own among the proletariats, right, where they fight, and drink like rabbles, and they drink in the bars and right. That's my thought about it. And they moved on, of course, right? So here, as I showed you from the conversations earlier, and I hope they release those 2 videos, that they left so many of their followers or dependents or minions behind, right? B and C, and then Ripley argued on their behalf, we can't leave with debt B and C non-functional and so on. And then Dallas said he doesn't care, he just want to go home, right? And he also said he doesn't trust anyone when they had that argumentation after they were inspecting the xenomorph or the facehugger, and then she followed him into the hallway, right, or into the duct, right? So that's that. I think they left quite few behind, and now the last one is one of them. They just throw him out of the family or the posse or whatever, right? Posse. There was a rap song, I think, Posse Up. See, he keeps gesturing at that emblem. Notice. See, he keeps gesturing at that emblem that he has on his coat or jacket. Keep noticing. See, he keeps pointing at it. And then he points at something else. See, he now pointing at him or something, and then there's the net, right? The fallen angel he keeps eating, right? They keep feeding him. This guy is concerned because he doesn't want it to be hurt. I don't know what that gesture means, really. I mean, here, you know what? I think I would know what it means. I think this is when excuse my language, when a woman is in estrus or something like that, they signal with that, right? So here, that will come to play later. I remember, I am not very fond of these gestures, right? But here, I think that's what it means. She's gonna, she's a female, right? And then she's doing that gestures, right? That gesture. They always do that, right? I remember now, I'm right. And then the net, and she, right? So she's probably the net. He'll come to prove right? Now I got that as we're speaking here. Oh, poor Parker. But notice what when he says, "I don't want no heroics," how she, the reflection on her face, the feeling reflects on her face, like this guy heroics. Notice.
Damn sure nobody puts their hand on the end of it.
That also may mean, notice how when, you see, so they want to lure him by a prod, right? So cattle prod, you know what that means, right? This looks like a real cattle prod. All right, you know what? I just got it now. She's like very impressed or something of the sort, right? Let's see. So notice, she's the one who gets it, right? She's the one to really catch it, right? And when she does that, he
Shouldn't damage the little bastard.
shouldn't damage the little bastard, right? Unless his skin is thinner than ours.
Skin's thinner than ours. But it will give him a little incentive.
See? Incentive, right? This is similar to a lioness, like hairlines and motion and means, how they trap a lion, right?
We just have to find him.
It's not taken care of.
But he was worried, right? He was worried. At least he wanted to know where the results is, right?
Tracking device. We just set it to search for a moving object. Hasn't got much of a range, but when you get within a certain distance, it starts to offer signal.
What's the key on?
Whiskers, right? Notice he's looking at her.
It changes.
What's it, Keon? Micro changing in air density, maybe pheromones. I don't know. No, I'm serious. You'll see at the end what I'm talking about. I was going to explain that at the end, but now I just found a key, right? Like to assist or support my argument toward the end. That's how they trap him.
Two teams. Ash, Landers and I repeat to Parker and Brad. Now anyone see this thing catching the net that Parker is holding in his lap? Parker, I don't want to.
And the heroics out of you. Notice how she looks, right? The gesture or the look on her face. Like she's saying, this guy heroics out of this guy.
Yeah, channels open on all decks. I want you to communicate with these channels. I'm sorry.
Channel open on all decks, right? All right, that's enough for today. I hope they release the last two videos. They're very they've got some really good stuff in them. And otherwise I will upload this, and then that puts 3 videos in the last couple of days, and then hopefully we'll or since November 17, right? November 17, and then yesterday one, and then today one. The appeal is going on, and I will upload this, and hopefully they will release them. This is better than soap opera, I tell you. Goodbye now. Today is November 24th, 12:47 p.m.